Hey, my name is Andrew, and in this video we're taking a look at what's new in JetFormBuilder 3.6. I'll walk you through the key features, show how they actually work, and more importantly, where you would use them in real projects. You'll see how this update keeps pushing forward more dynamic forms and a smoother experience both for you and your users. So let's jump in. Now, one of the biggest updates in this release is how form fields handle their options. For select, radio, and checkbox fields, there's a generate dynamically source now with expanded capabilities. Now, instead of setting options manually, you can generate them dynamically from different sources. For example, you can pull values directly from the database, like unique values stored in a meta field. You can build options from WordPress users, fetch data from an external API, or use a JetEngine query to return fully custom results. There are also more specific options like showing related posts based on another field, generating number ranges dynamically or manually, pulling booking statuses, or reusing options from existing JetEngine fields. The Enable Auto Update toggle makes the field reactive. Once it is enabled, the field starts responding to other fields in the form. When a trigger field changes, the options here are recalculated and refreshed automatically. And this is important, the trigger field is not necessarily used to directly display its value here, you'll see that more clearly in the use cases. You can also use multiple fields as triggers. By default, everything updates instantly via Ajax. But you can also tie the recalculation to a button, like update field, next page, previous page, or change render state. There's also cache duration. This simply sets for how long the result for the same input values is stored. So if the user selects the same values again, it doesn't recalculate everything from scratch. If you're working with longer lists, you can also enable Select Autocomplete. Instead of showing all options at once, it lets users type and search, which makes things cleaner with large datasets. To have that option available, I enabled the additional JetFormBuilder Autocomplete plugin. So overall, this gives you a much more flexible way to build forms, where fields are connected, responsive, and driven by real data. Now let's look at how this works in real scenarios. Let's start with a simple but very real scenario, filtering hotels by city and star rating. First, I'll create the city field and I'll name it City Form. Set fill options from Generate Dynamically and choose Get Values List from Database. Here I just provide the meta key, in my case city, so it pulls all available city values from my hotel posts. I'll do the same for hotel stars. Again, generate dynamically, same generator, but now using the stars meta field. Now for the main part, the hotels field. Here, instead of pulling raw values, I'll use Get Values List from JetEngine query, which means we need a query that filters hotels based on those two fields. So I'll go to JetEngine Query Builder, create a post query, and in meta query add two clauses. First, filter by city. For the field key where the query will look for the value, I'll type the city meta field name. For the value, I'll use the dynamic macro JFB auto update field value linked to the city form field. Then I repeat the same for stars. That's it for the query. Back in the form, I select this query as the source for the hotels field, set ID as the value, and post title as the label. Now I enable auto update, set both city and hotel stars as trigger fields, and turn wait for all fields, so the list updates only when both are selected. And now on the front end, once I choose a city and number of stars, the hotel field shows only matching results. From here, the user can select a hotel and proceed, either to booking or to a single page depending on your form setup. The next use case is for situations where the options you want to show in a form are managed or updated outside of your site, like products or any other external data source. So here I have a text field that users will use to search for products. And the second field is a select, but this time it pulls its options from an external source. Instead of using database values or a query, we're using the getValues list from REST API generator. And as you can see, the settings here are different from the previous examples, because now we're working with an external request. The key part is the API endpoint URL. It includes this search product placeholder, which is linked to the form field. So whenever the user types something, the value is inserted into the URL, the API returns matching products, and the select field updates with the fresh results. Then I define which part of the response to use. ID becomes the option value, title becomes the visible label, and products in the item path tells the form where the actual list of items is inside the JSON response. After that, I enable auto update and set the search field as trigger. On the front end, it shows like this. The user starts typing and the select field narrows the list down to matching products pulled from the external source. This is especially useful when you don't want to constantly sync the external data into your site, and the search itself can be based on titles, categories, descriptions, whatever the API supports. And if you want to understand REST APIs in more detail, we already have separate videos covering that. In this example, we're using taxonomy terms to control which posts appear in another field. I have a categories field which simply pulls terms from the categories taxonomy. Then the second field, for showing the related posts, is set to generate dynamically using the getRelatedPost list generator. Here I define the post type and set filtering to match by taxonomy term. In the relation key, I specify the taxonomy by the category slug. You can have a static filter value set. This acts as a fallback for when users haven't chosen category in previous field yet. Once I enable auto update and set categories as the trigger field, the behavior changes dynamically. When the user selects a category, the list updates to show only posts from that term. But if nothing is selected, the generator falls back to the static value. So the field still has default options instead of being empty. So on the front end, the logic is simple: select a category and the list of related posts updates accordingly. This is useful when you want to replace a fixed taxonomy filter with a dynamic one, while still keeping a default state when no value is selected. Here the idea is pretty straightforward, filtering users in forms based on their roles. This is useful for internal tools. For example, an admin can quickly find editors or authors and assign tasks to them. Or it can be used in front-end scenarios, where logged-in users interact with specific groups of other users. So first, I have a checkbox field for user roles. These values are set manually, and the important part here is that they match actual WordPress role slugs, like administrator, editor, or subscriber. Then I add a select field for users and set it to generate dynamically with the getValues list from WordPress users generator. There's also this filter by roles setting. This defines what users are shown by default before any interaction. If you leave it empty, all users are included. If you set specific roles here, only those will appear initially. For the option value and label, I leave the default user ID and display name. I also disable including the current user and set max users to -1, so the list isn't limited. Then I enable auto update and connect this field to the roles checkbox. And that's it. On the front end, as soon as I select one or multiple roles, the users list updates instantly to match that selection. Now that we've done through a few practical scenarios with dynamic option generation, let's move on to the next feature. It is all about giving users a live preview of what they're filling in, not just as a raw values, but as a fully structured layout. So here I'm adding a fields preview block. And inside it, I can write my own HTML and insert macros for any form fields. Those macros get replaced with real values on the front end. The key difference from a regular HTML block is that Fields Preview works with the form data in real time, including more complex fields like repeaters, and handles structured output. For example, here I'm building a preview for an event post. I output the title, price, image, and then the speakers list. I also wrap the preview in conditional block so it only appears once the user starts filling in the form, otherwise you just see the empty layout. And this is where it gets interesting. Repeater fields are fully supported. If you had just output the repeater itself, it would render in a simple label value format for each row. But if you want full control, like I do here, you can define your own HTML structure, in this case a table. What happens under the hood is that this template is repeated for every row in the repeater, and the inner macros, like name and topic, are replaced with actual values. So you're not limited to basic outputs. You can build pretty much any layout, lists, tables, cards, whatever fits your use case. And the overall idea here is simple. Users can fill in the form to create a post and at the same time see how that content will look before submitting it. Now let's move to the next feature, multiple payment gateways. Previously, if you wanted to offer different payment methods like PayPal and Stripe, you often had to build separate forms or set up some other workarounds. Now there's a much cleaner approach, a dedicated payment gateway block that lets users choose how they want to pay right in the form. So first, in the form settings, I switch gateways to manual and enable both PayPal and Stripe checkout with show on front end. Before that, of course, your site needs to be connected to these services, meaning you've added your PayPal and Stripe credentials. I'm not going deep into that here, since we already have separate tutorials covering the full setup. Once manual mode is selected, you'll see a prompt to add payment gateways block, so I just insert it into the form. In this example, I'm using a hotel booking form. The total price is calculated inside the form, and that value is passed to both payment gateways based on their settings. On the front end, the flow is simple. The user fills in the booking details, sees the total, chooses either PayPal or Stripe, and submits the form. And depending on that choice, they're redirected to the selected payment service to complete the payment. So instead of splitting your logic across multiple forms, everything is handled in one place. Much cleaner both for you and for the user. Now let's move on to a smaller but very practical addition, the phone field. Before this, phone numbers were usually just regular text or number fields. So here I'm building a simple contact form and just adding the phone field as the block. In the settings, you can control how it behaves. For example, set a default country, define preferred countries that appear on top, or limit the list to specific regions. There's also an option to separate the dial code visually, so you can choose which layout suits your design better. You can also choose how the number is saved, like the standard international E164 format. And on the front end, contact form is more professional and easier to use. Users get a proper country selector with flags and automatic formatting instead of typing everything manually. And finally, one more improvement that makes working with forms much easier. The built-in style manager. JetFormBuilder uses the default block editor, but previously, if you wanted more control over styling of Crocoblock elements, you had to install a separate plugin, JetStyleManager. Now that's no longer needed. Every form block comes with its own styling options right inside the editor. So as you can see, whether it's a phone field, checkbox, or any other block, you can directly control things like typography, spacing, colors, alignment, and overall layout. Of course, the exact settings depend on the specific block, but the idea here is the same. Styling is now built in and available out of the box. So no extra plugins, making the whole workflow faster and much more straightforward. That's the FormBuilder 3.6 update. These are the features we've just gone through. And honestly, they push things even further in terms of dynamic functionality and flexibility. You can really see how the Crocoblock team keeps evolving the product in line with what users actually need. Curious what you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you found this helpful, give it a like and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.